Hi there! So recently, when I was mindlessly scrolling through YouTube Shorts, I came across this short from the VS Code YouTube channel. So apparently there's a VS Code extension that allows you to create PowerPoint presentations using Markdown. And that gave me an idea. Could I use my GPT-AutoPilot project to create PowerPoint presentations using this VS Code plugin? Or if this Marp tool that they use here is actually available as like some command line tool, then maybe I could use that with GPT-AutoPilot to actually create PowerPoint presentations. So let's try and do that today. Now, the first thing I actually want to try is to just tell it to create a PowerPoint presentation and see what it does. Does it say I can't do it, or does it actually do something? So let's run GPT-AutoPilot and let's tell it to create a PowerPoint presentation. And I have my snake game here that I created in the previous video with this, so I will delete that one. Delete. And then I will say, create a 5-slide PowerPoint presentation about the differences between PHP and Python. Include a slide about the comparison between Python's in operator and PHP's in array function. And let's just do this and see what it does. So it will ask me some questions at first, and it will ask me, do you want to make the prompt better? But let's just try with this one and see what happens. Do you have any specific design or format in mind for the slides? No. Do you have any content or information that you would like to include in each slide? No, just make it look professional. What should be the title of the first slide? PHP and Python. The differences. What should be the content of the first slide? You decide. What are the key differences between PHP and Python? That's the idea of the presentation. Please create the content yourself. And now we are creating a task list. Let's see what we are going to do. Create a PowerPoint file named presentation.pptx. Create the first slide with the title PHP and Python, the differences. Add content to the first slide. Create the second slide. Now, you can't just write a PowerPoint file, I don't think. Or is it like XML or something? Can you like actually just write it out? I don't think so. So let's see if I just run it. Yes, I want to use this task list. Then what is it going to do? And I will do this step by step. Let's see what happens. Writing to file presentation.pptx. Wrote to file. Appending to file. Okay, what on earth is this doing? We can actually take a look in the code folder here. We have a presentation. It's actually writing some XML. Wait a minute, ... That doesn't sound very good. Okay, we appended something. PHP and Python, the differences. Background, language syntax. It's doing something, but this seems like it is not like going to work because we're starting out the XML every time. Or does this mean that it's a different slide? I think this is just some garbage it's creating right now. Okay, for 84 cents we have created something. Let's open this and see what happens if I open this. Probably some error because I don't think this is gonna work. Okay, we actually opened it in LibreOffice Writer, so this is not going to work. So what I'm going to do is I am going to figure out first, does ChatGPT know about the Marp markdown format? So let's go to actual ChatGPT and ask it. Are you familiar with the Marp tool for generating PowerPoint slides in markdown format? Yes, I'm familiar with Marp, okay, which is a popular tool for generating PowerPoint slides from markdown format. Okay, so it's an actual thing. So is there a command line tool for converting Marp files to PPTX files? Yes, there is. Marp CLI. Okay, so let us change our prompt to use this. So let's say no here and let's start this all over again. and I will delete that one. And I will copy my original prompt from here, create a 5-slide PowerPoint, and so on. And I will add here, create the PowerPoint presentation first in Marp, install Marp first, and then convert it to an actual PPTX file. So let's see what happens now. And I don't want to detect, I don't want to make it better, and what are the questions? What should be the content of the other slides? It is your job to create the content. Should I use any specific template or design? Use a professional looking one. Do you have any specific template or design in mind for the professional looking presentation? No, I do not. Should the slides contain text and images? Only text. Let's not get too fancy here. What should be the content of slide 1? The title should be PHP and Python. The differences. Okay, we are creating a task list. Create a new markdown file named presentation.md. Write the following content. Okay, this is not a good task list, so I will say no. And I will say, please create a full task list of all the steps in the process, but don't include the content of the files in the steps. Okay, create a new markdown file named presentation.md. Write the content of the presentation in the presentation file. Install Marp. Convert the presentation.md file to PowerPoint presentation. Save the PowerPoint presentation as presentation.pptx. That sounds very good. So let's continue with this and let's do this step by step. So now we are writing to presentation.md. So let's go to our code folder and let's take a look at presentation. Okay, so slide 1, introduction. Slide 2. Now it is not like separating these into different slides. I think in the VS Code short they added some like dashes here or something to separate these, but let's see. To install Marp, I want to use npm install g marp team marp CLI. Yes, let's do that. This is taking some time. I wonder if it's actually doing something. It might be that it's asking for something. Oh, actually it's done. Okay. It took 49 seconds to do it. All right. So now I want to run npx marp team marp CLI presentation md o presentation PPTX. Okay. To convert the presentation md file to a PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Yes, do that, please. And we have converted Markdown to PowerPoint. And it is done. And it cost us 6 cents to do this. So let's go take a look at this. We have MD and PPTX. So let's open this presentation and see what is in here. Okay, so it created only one slide, but it actually did it. So let's do this. Since in the previous update to GPT-AutoPilot, I have created this prompts folder with specific prompts, system messages for different kind of projects. I will create a new project type called PowerPoint Marp. And I will create a new system message here. System message. So I will teach GPT-AutoPilot to create PowerPoint presentations with Marp. So I will write a system message that explains how to do it. So I will say, you are a bot that can create PowerPoint presentations. You will use Marp format to create the presentations. You will then convert the Marp file into an actual PowerPoint file. Install Marp on the system first. And then I will write something about the format of the Marp. So let's Google this. Marp. Markdown presentation ecosystem. So get started. So how does this work? Marp for VS Code, yeah. Marp CLI, yeah. Is there like some tutorial or something? How does this actually work? Marp examples. Okay, so 3 lines means a new slide. So I'll say, separate slides with 3 dashes on a single line with empty lines at the top and the bottom. Okay, and then what else? I saw that they had like the theme. Where can I like find these themes? Are they like built in? Is there a list of themes? Does ChatGPT know? Do you know a list of the Marp themes? Yes. Okay, so it knows. So I can just say that it has to say theme at the top. Start the Marp file with the document information, including a fitting theme. Add your theme here. Okay. And we have a size, okay. Paginate, header, footer, class, color. Okay, so I think that ChatGPT actually knows all this syntax, but for some reason it just didn't do it in this case, because it just made the slides like this. So also use colors in the Marp slides as per the documentation of Marp. So now that I have created this system message for PowerPoint presentations in Marp, I should be able to do this again. So if I start this again and I say delete to delete the old ones, and I copy my prompt again, and I say just create 5-slide PowerPoint presentation about the differences, blah, 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 and I will not say anything about creating it in Marp. I will just say this, and I will hit enter, and then I will say automatically detect a custom system message for this. And it should detect that we are using PowerPoint Marp. Exactly, so it did it. And I want to use that system message, and I do not want to make my prompt better, but then we have to answer some questions. So, do you have any specific theme in mind? Okay, no, I don't, because I don't know the themes. Would you like any specific images or diagrams? No, just text. Let's do just text for now. Are there any specific points or topics you want to be covered in the slides? No. Would you like any bullet points or subheadings in each slide? Yes. Do you have any preferences for the layout or design of the slides? Just make it look pretty. And now we are creating a task list. So we create a new Marp file, we create the first slide, we create the second slide, and we create the third slide, and the fourth, and the fifth. Okay, so I want to use this task list, and let's do this step by step. And let's see what happened. Alright, and we have created a PowerPoint presentation with 12 cents using the GPT 3.5 API. So let's take a look at what we have here. We have only the MD file. So it didn't actually convert it yet. But this is why I have created the checklist.json in this prompts folder. So I will create a checklist.json, and I will add here, if you didn't already, convert the Marp file into a PowerPoint file. So then we will do this in the end automatically, or it will ask, do you want to run through this checklist? So let's see if it actually will work. So if I now say, if you didn't already, convert the Marp file into a PowerPoint file, and then hopefully it will do it. Now it didn't actually install it this time. Now I'm not sure if that is necessary, because you don't really have to install it every time. And I guess if this gives an error, then it would say, okay, we have to install it. So this might actually give an error because it is using just the Marp command, but I am using the npm package. So let's see what happens. Okay, it actually works. So there is a Marp command. Is there anything else I can help you with? Well, let's see. So we have a presentation here. So let's open, it's 5 megabytes. All right, differences between PHP and Python. And we have some pretty nice background there. Let's open this full screen if I know how to do that. Okay, what? Why does it look like this? Okay, because I have 2 monitors here, so the full one was shown in the other monitor, but now I clicked exchange, so now I have this in the main monitor. So differences between PHP and Python. Introduction. In this presentation, we will explore the differences between PHP and Python. PHP versus Python. Syntax. PHP uses curly braces for code blocks. Python uses indentation, whitespace, for code blocks. Data types. PHP has a wide range of built-in data types. Python has fewer built-in data types, but they are more flexible. Community. Okay, so I think it added something down here, but it doesn't fit on the screen. Comparison of in operator and in array function. Python in operator. The in operator tests if an element exists in a sequence, a list, a tuple, or string. Example, if apple in apple, banana, cherry. It's actually formatted here nicely. Okay, and again, we are running out of space, so we should explain to it that it has to use a smaller font size if it wants to have more lines of text, or make it limit the lines of text per slide or something like that. Additional differences. PHP is mainly used for web development. Python is used in a wide range of fields, including web development, data analysis, and artificial intelligence. PHP has a procedural programming style, while Python supports both procedural and object-oriented programming. Well, that is not true. PHP supports, of course, object-oriented programming as well. In fact, I see more object-oriented programming in PHP than Python. Whatever. Conclusion. PHP and Python are both powerful programming languages with their own strengths and weaknesses. The choice between the two depends on the specific use case and personal preference. Okay. Introduction. Wait a minute. This is slide 7 of 16. So now we start some introduction again. Okay, I think I know what happened here. Because we ran the task list step by step, it actually wrote the whole thing in the first step, and then when it got another step to add an introduction or something, then it wrote it again. So now we have the same stuff here. Is that true? I think so. Although we have the same things here, but we had 2 introductions. Yeah, because this is the end. So something weird happens there. So that actually works pretty well already. We might make this better, like saying something like, let's actually stop this right now, and what should we say? Let's say this. Don't write slides that you have already written in previous steps. And then how do we make the font smaller? Let's actually look at presentation.md. Theme is Gaia, and we don't specify any font size. Now, how do we make the font smaller? Or how do we make it understand how many lines there will be in the slide? Because this heading will be on 2 lines. So how do we check that? Can we just say, take into account the length of the text in the slides and adjust the font size of the slides or the amount of text per slide based on the content and line length, so that all the information of a slide fits on one slide. Let's do that, and let's try again to do the same thing. So I'll in fact do no questions this time, and I'll say not better, and I'll say step by step, or in fact I will just say single task list. So we will just send the task list as one message, and it will then do the whole thing, hopefully. So let's do that, and that's it. Then we are going to, it is called no questions, and we are going to delete this one, and we are going to copy the same thing again. So create a 5-slide PowerPoint presentation, and let's do that. And we want to detect automatically, and we will use, okay, now detected default. It's not perfect, this automatic detection. Maybe I should rename it just PowerPoint, because we didn't specify in our prompt that we are going to use Marp. So let me say no, and I will say PowerPoint. And then we create a task list, and I have to confirm, yes, I want to use this task list. So it just said, create the Marp file, convert the Marp file to PowerPoint. So let's do that. And we are writing to presentation.md. And we want to run Marp presentation.md. Yes. And we converted to HTML now, okay? So that's not really what I wanted. So it realized this as well, so now it added PPTX. So if we run that, then we should have a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so let's add that as well. Use the PPTX flag for the Marp command or others if a different type is asked for. And we don't have to run through the checklist now because we already converted. So let's go here and let's open our presentation again. We have to probably close this one and open that, and let's see. Differences between PHP and Python. Let's open this full screen and let's go to the next slide. Introduction. PHP and Python are both popular programming languages. They have similarities but also notable differences. Oh, look at this. Slide 2, syntax. PHP uses C-style syntax with curly braces. Python uses indentation to define blocks of code. Example. And it freaking formatted the code. Okay. Community and ecosystem. PHP, large community with a rich ecosystem. Popular frameworks, Laravel, Symfony. Python, popular frameworks, Django, Flask. Slide 4, in operator versus in array function. Python's in operator returns true if a value exists in a sequence. List, tuple, string, etc. Now, I will say that this is probably the best thing about Python, that you can do something in something, and it works with everything. Because it's a bit awkward in PHP. You have to do in array, and then you have to say, well, is the array first, or is the value first, or what? And then if it's in a string, you say, okay, string, get the string position. If the position is not false, but it might be 0, but it's still in there, then, of course, now there is str contains, but previously there wasn't. Okay, and conclusion. PHP and Python have their own unique features and strengths. Choose the language that best fits your project requirements and personal preferences. And that's the end. So that is pretty much 10 out of 10 presentation on PHP and Python in 5 slides, as I asked. So that is pretty damn good. I will in fact commit this to my GitHub repository so that you can use GPT-AutoPilot to create PowerPoint presentations. Let me know if you try this out and if it works for you. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.